We're about to do a routine maintenance of an oil change in this big old Silverado truck. And we're crawling up under the driver's side. And we're going to locate it. Locate the drain plug and the oil filter. You see that orange thing right there? That's the oil filter. I hate when they put them on at an angle like that. I like when they're straight up and down so you can fill it up and screw it in without spilling any oil. So those things make it difficult. This car's a little hot, so we're going to let it cool down. The drain plug is right there on the oil pan. The very bottom of the pan. She's still cooling down. Technically those filters should not be more than hand tight, but I don't know who the last person was that changed this, and they like to put them on super tight. For some reason you don't have to. Some of these drain plugs are magnetic to pick up any metal shavings that might be in the bottom of the engine, which is a really bad sign. I don't know if this one is magnetic or not. We're going to find out when we take it out. Probably not. And sometimes they put like little magnetic washers welded into the bottom of the pan, and they'll pick up any metal shavings too. But we're not dropping the whole pan, we're just draining the oil out of... Oh, Six Pack wants to say hi. Here's my cat. His name's Six Pack. He's an orange lion. He's a very good hunter. I don't know what he's whining about. That was semi-entertaining. So anyway, the first thing to do is let this cool down. You don't have to jack these big old trucks up on ramps like I have them. That's not really necessary, but it gives you a little bit more room. With the car, yeah, you're gonna have to put it up on some kind of lifts to get up under there. All the basics of an oil change are the same on every vehicle. So right now we're just locating that orange filter. Ugly little devil there, and the drain plug right there, and we're gonna guess at what size that is. It looks like, I don't know, 15 millimeter, maybe. Yeah, that's 15 millimeter. That's it. I'll be back as soon as this puppy cools down. I had to go out and buy a filter wrench, and oil, of course, and a filter. So I just got back, and she's still settling down and cooling off. We're going under. We're going in. Oh. Hopefully this is a 15 millimeter. It's hard to hold the camera and turn this. I surmise it's hard. It shouldn't be that damn tight. But some people like to tighten everything up to crazy torque specs. All I have is these two little coffee things here, so this is liable to get a little messy. Counterclockwise on this nut. It's a ball ain't no nut, John. So just keep turning this out. It'll start leaking a little bit of oil. You can probably see it seeping out there. Sorry if the camera is shaky. But I'm doing this left-handed here with one-handed left-handed. Ain't nothing to it. I'll fast forward through this part of the tube of view lets me. And don't just drop this bolt into the bucket there, because you want to look at it and see if it has any metal shavings or anything. Like I said, it's apt to get a little messy. That oil's still a little hot. We'll clean that up in a minute. I had an oil pan, and I had an assortment of oil wrenches. Again, people, I mentioned this in another video. People borrow them, and they don't bring them back. And it's really a pet peeve. So I started locking up all my tools and inventory, and I don't want to do all that, but I have to, because I'm a trusting person, and some people take advantage of that. Yeah, one of those coffee cans already filled up. And you want to just let every single speck of oil drip out of there, no matter how long it takes, because all the grimy stuff is at the bottom. So you want to get it all out of there, and just let it drip, 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 drip. Once that is done, we'll put the plug back in, and then we'll take the wrench off. I mean the wrench off, the oil filter off. And again, that's up right there. I really wish they didn't put that in sideways, but it's kind of diagonal. And the reason you want to filter up, the new filter up when you put it in, is because you don't, especially if the engine is old and has a lot of miles on it, you don't want to start the car up or the truck up, and for a split second, or maybe even 2 seconds, there'll be no oil. It'll be dry and running through the engine, and you don't want that. So you fill them up, but the problem with this one is it's sideways, and so you can only fill it up like halfway. Otherwise, when you go to put the new one in, the oil will spill out if it's all the way filled up. So anyway, I'm rambling. We're just going to let this drip and drip and drip until it stops dripping. I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Here's the new filter, and we're just going to put some new oil in it. And again, this one we're only filling about halfway up, because it's on there at an angle. Some of this is going to spill out and get even messy. Take a dab of your finger and put it on this rubber seal that goes around the top, and that'll help seal it. And these things don't have to be super tight, just maybe a tiny bit more than hand tight, and you're good to go. It's not going to come loose, it's not going to fall out. That seal will actually help keep pressure on it and keep it from vibrating loose or anything. And you'll be the first to know if there's any leaks, and it does loosen it. You're probably going to want a wrench if your oil hasn't been changed in a while, because they actually tend to tighten up as time goes on. They vibrate tight, not loose. And people that change oil like to, again, put everything on super, super tight. Never stops amazing me. Yeah, there we are. We're just waiting for the rest of the oil to drip out, and now we're going to take off the old filter. We're going in again. Boom, boom. Okay. There she is again, that orange puppy. And of course the drive shaft is a pain in the butt to get around. Especially with an oil wrench. But before you even mess with the oil filter wrench, take your hand up there and see if you can turn it. And here comes the oil. Just, if it is hand tight, just loosen it a little bit. And in a couple turns, you'll see the oil coming out like it is right now. And from there, you can go. Or just wait until this is done, and then take the rest of it off. We'll be back. Can you tell which one's the old one and which one's the new one? Once you get this off, take a good look at it. You might want to pour it through some kind of filter, you know, the oil that's left in there, and see if it picks up any grime or metal shavings. This looks great. For as many miles as this has on it, which is about 200,000, you can't ask for more than that. And now she's getting a new fresh filter, a new fresh oil, and she's gonna feel good. That's it. We're gonna put this in the next part. Here's the wrench, which turned out we didn't really need. You just turn it on there and it tightens up around the filter and takes it off. We used it just to break it loose just a little bit, and then we could hand loosen it the rest of the way. When I was a kid, I had a 1970 Nova, and my oil filter wrench broke. So I took a screwdriver and I just jammed it straight through and just turned it off. I don't recommend doing that. But in an emergency, if you don't have access to a wrench, your wrench breaks, or somebody stole your wrench, and you don't have the $6 to buy a new one, you can do that. Just be careful. And again, your new one only has to be a little more than hand tight. So just use a little bit of grunt work, get it tight, and then just turn it as much as you can by hand, and you're good, man. Alright, now we're going back under. This was a little bit of a bear to get started on the threads. So I'm going to wipe that filter off. Because it gets a little slippery. And then again, we're just going to hand tighten it as much as you can. And that's that part. We're going to put the drain plug back in. It was not magnetic, by the way. So we just cleaned up the drain plug. We're going to screw it in and tighten it. Well, a little more than hand tight. Just don't go nuts with it. And the next time you'll be grateful. And we'll come back with the next part. I still have just a tiny bit of oil dripping off that oil pan, just it. And I want every speck out of there. So we're just going to continue to let it drip until it's done dripping. Like you can tell where I took the filter off, all the old oil got on this U-joint here for the drive shaft. So that's one way to lube your U-joints. Yep, we're just going to continue to let it drip. I don't care if it takes all day. I have another car I can use. That filter is as tight as it'll go without over torquing it. Once this drain plug is back in there and tightened up, I can fill it up with brand new oil and let it sit and settle and then start the car up. Don't forget to tighten the drain plug before you put oil in. Or, you know, if you have a whole lot of money, just leave the plug out. And you can pour like 5 quarts through and flush it out. Most people don't have money to burn. So, and that's probably you, or you probably won't be watching this, so whatever you do, don't forget to tighten that drain plug back up, or all the oil you put in is just gonna pour right out. That's where we are, homeboy. We're going under. Yeah, I made a mess. It's okay, I got a power washer. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. It tightens up a little bit right there. And it's just a manufacturing thing to keep it from vibrating loose. Imagine that, you're driving down the highway and your drain plug falls out. Oh, that would suck. Left-handed, one-handed. Filter's tight. I actually did put a filter wrench on there and just give it one little more turn. And that's it. We're going back up top. And this time I'm going to take you with me. Stop and get a slug of beer. And I'm going to set this up someplace where I can actually use both hands. That's going to slip right off there. That should work. Brand new fresh oil. Oh. We're going to leave about a half a quart out of this. This is 5 quarts. You're going to keep about a half quart in this container. And then check the level once it settles all the way down. I just power washed this engine and I can see everything I missed when I was power washing. The places that are power washed are like super clean, and the places I missed are like super dirty. There's actually about a quart left in there. I just let that settle and check the level. And if it's near where it should be, go ahead and start it up, and as oil goes through all parts of the engine, it's going to need some more, so check it again, and just don't overfill it, but just get it to that line. You know the drill. And that's it, folks. I think we're done here, man. Yeah, that'll take a good 3 or 4 minutes to settle all the way down before you check your level. But good luck. It's a no-brainer, easy maintenance job. And the whole reason I do that, a lot of people say, well, why don't you just go to one of those oil changes places and just pay $25? You're actually getting out cheaper, and you don't have to do anything. And there's a lot of reasons I don't do. I know how they operate, and the object is to get you in there and sell you a belt and sell you an air filter, you know, whatever, windshield wipers, whatever. And I don't like that whole kind of operation of just baiting people into the store and then selling them stuff like a convenience store kind of, you know, the convenience store makes all their money off of selling candy bars and beer and cigarettes, and that's to be expected because they're not baiting you in there saying you need this, but I'm going to sell you this. I just don't like salespeople. So I just don't want to deal with it. Plus, I like working on cars, and I like teaching people how to do it. And that's it. And I know it's done right, too. So, there you go. Have a great day, dude. And chicks. And everybody else out there. Special thanks to Jaden. What's his name? Jaden K. Smith. We love you, Jaden. One more thing, real quick. And you veteran mechanics out there, forgive me for this. But if you're new to working on cars, and you want to learn how to do it yourself, I tell you to check the oil level, but I never tell you how to check the oil level. And just find your dipstick, and on this side it's the opposite. On this car it's the opposite side of where you fill the oil. Just come over here and pull this out, and then you're going to want to wipe this off. So I'm going to put this camera down for a second and wipe this dipstick off. And then you're going to put the dipstick back into the tube and slide it all the way down till it can't go no further down. Any further down. Let it sit for a minute and pull it out. And check the level. And it'll tell you on there where your oil level needs to be. And there's oil there, and it's just leftover. Okay, folks. So as you're refilling the car with oil, just don't dump the whole 5 quarts in just yet. Just put like 4 quarts in, and then keep checking it and adding a little more until it's at the perfect level. Okay? Alright. Peace, guys. Thanks.